Have you ever seen a billionaire stop in his tracks, completely frozen, unable to believe what his eyes were seeing? That's exactly what happened the day Adrian Cole, one of the wealthiest men in the city, took his daughter Amelia to the park. What he witnessed wasn't just unusual, it was something that would forever change his heart and his life. Adrian Cole was known as a man who could buy anything. Private jets, mansions, luxury cars, nothing was out of his reach. But despite all his wealth, he rarely noticed the people around him. To him, life was business meetings, investments, and power. That morning, he promised his daughter Amelia a simple day at the park. Amelia, only 7 years old, full of innocence and laughter, skipped ahead of him, her tiny shoes crunching over fallen leaves. She held her doll tightly and giggled as she ran. Adrian followed slowly, his phone glued to his hand, his eyes fixed on endless emails. His daughter often begged him to put the phone away, but his answer was always the same: just one more call. That day was no different. Until Amelia suddenly stopped. "Daddy," she whispered, pointing ahead. "Look at her." Adrian lifted his eyes. On a worn wooden bench sat a little black girl, no older than Amelia. Her clothes were torn, her hair unkempt, her shoes falling apart. She had no toys, no food, not even a bag. But what she was doing froze Adrian in disbelief. With a broken stick in her hand, she was carefully drawing letters in the dirt. Her lips moved silently as if she were teaching an invisible classroom. She shaped each letter with focus and determination. Beside her lay a small torn notebook with crumpled pages, guarded like treasure. Adrian frowned. His daughter tilted her head. "Daddy, she's teaching." "But who is she teaching?" Curious, Amelia approached the girl. "Hi," she said softly. "What are you doing?" The girl looked up, startled. Her eyes were wide and filled with both fear and hope. "I'm teaching," she whispered. "I pretend I have students because one day I want to be a teacher, but I don't have a school, so I teach myself." Adrian's chest tightened. He had met presidents, business geniuses, inventors, but never a child with so much determination. "What's your name?" Amelia asked. "Zara," the girl replied, hugging her notebook tightly. Adrian crouched down, curious. "Why are you here all alone, Zara?" She hesitated, then lowered her gaze. "My mom, she got sick. We lost our home. She tries to work, but sometimes there's no food. I don't want to cry in front of her. So I come here. I teach myself, because one day I'll be strong enough to give her a house. One day she'll smile again." Adrian felt something inside him break. A girl with nothing but a dream, sitting on a park bench, was stronger than half the adults he knew in boardrooms. Amelia's eyes filled with tears. "Daddy, can we help her?" she begged. Adrian hesitated. His mind was torn. In his world, everyone wanted something. Money, power, influence. He had become suspicious of people's intentions. But Zara wasn't asking for money. She wasn't even asking for food. All she wanted was to learn. That was the only treasure she desired. "Zara," Adrian asked gently, "if you could have anything right now, what would it be?" She looked down at her notebook and smiled shyly. "Just more paper. And a pencil, so I can keep learning." Her words hit him harder than any business deal ever could. He, a man who could buy skyscrapers, was standing in front of a little girl whose biggest dream was a pencil and paper. Amelia tugged on his sleeve. "Daddy, please, we have to help her." For the first time in years, Adrian put his phone away. He opened the leather bag he carried for meetings and pulled out his own notebook. It was filled with business plans and strategies worth millions, but to him it suddenly felt meaningless. He tore out a clean page, handed it to Zara, and gave her his pen. "Write your dream," he told her softly, "and I promise I'll help you make it real." Zara's hands trembled. Slowly, with careful strokes, she wrote on the page, "One day, I will be a teacher." Adrian stared at the words. His throat tightened. Amelia clapped with joy, hugging Zara as if she had known her forever. Adrian knew at that moment his life would never be the same. But what he didn't know was that this small act of kindness would unravel secrets and struggles he never expected, because helping Zara wasn't going to be simple. And what he did next not only changed her destiny, but revealed truths that would shake his own world to the core. The real journey had just begun. Adrian couldn't stop staring at the sentence Zara had written. "One day I will be a teacher." Those words, written in shaky handwriting on an expensive piece of paper, carried more weight than any contract he had ever signed. He tucked the page carefully into his bag as if it were the most valuable document in the world. "Daddy, can we take her with us?" Amelia whispered. clutching his arm. Adrian hesitated. He looked at Zara, sitting on that broken bench with her torn notebook. Taking her home wasn't simple. There were laws, families, responsibilities, but leaving her behind felt like betrayal. He crouched down again. "Zara, where is your mother?" Her face fell. "She works at a diner nearby. She cleans tables until late, but sometimes she gets sick and can't go. Then we sleep outside." Adrian's heart clenched. He had built empires, crushed competition, made headlines, but he had never faced a child's raw truth like this. "All right," he said firmly. "Take me to your mother." Zara's eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes, let's meet her." They walked together through the streets. Zara led the way, her small steps quick, almost nervous. Amelia held her hand tightly, talking to her about dolls, cartoons, and school. Adrian walked behind them, his mind racing. He couldn't remember the last time Amelia had held another child's hand with such joy. Finally, they reached a small diner at the corner of the street. Inside, the smell of fried food mixed with cleaning detergent. At the far end, a thin woman in a faded uniform was wiping down a table, coughing softly into her sleeve. "Mom," Zara called, running to her. The woman looked up in shock, her tired eyes filling with worry. "Zara, why did you leave the bench? I told you to stay." She rushed over, holding her daughter close. Then she noticed Adrian and Amelia standing there. "Who are you?" she asked cautiously. Adrian spoke gently. "My name is Adrian Cole. I met your daughter today. She's extraordinary." The woman's eyes filled with fear. "If she bothered you, I'm so sorry. She likes to pretend she's teaching. Please don't be upset with her." "Upset?" Adrian said softly. "No, I'm inspired." Zara's mother looked confused. She was used to judgment, not kindness. Adrian continued, "Your daughter has a dream. She wants to be a teacher, and I want to help her." The woman's lips trembled. "We don't need charity. We're fine." Adrian shook his head. "This isn't charity. It's opportunity. Every child deserves a chance. Zara isn't asking for money. She's asking for education, and I can give her that." The woman's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to believe him, but life had taught her to be cautious. People promised things and disappeared. "I don't even know you," she whispered. Adrian nodded. "That's fair, but you will. I want to help, not just today, but for the future." He looked down at Zara, who was hugging her notebook. "Your daughter reminded me of something I forgot long ago, that dreams matter more than money." Over the next week, Adrian returned to the diner every day. He sat with Zara and her mother, whose name was Layla. He asked about their life, their struggles, their hopes. Layla explained how she had once dreamed of being a nurse, but after Zara was born and her health declined, she couldn't continue school. Life became survival. Adrian listened silently, his heart heavy. For years, he had measured success in profits and luxury, but sitting with his family, he realized he had been poor in ways that truly mattered. One evening, as the diner closed, Adrian made a decision. "Layla," he said firmly, "I want to move you and Zara into a proper home. I'll cover the expenses. Zara needs stability to study, and you need rest to heal." Layla shook her head. "I can't accept that. People will say I'm taking advantage of you." "Let them talk," Adrian replied. "This isn't about them. It's about Zara's future, and Amelia has already decided she needs a new best friend." He smiled at his daughter, who grinned back, hugging Zara tightly. For the first time in years, Layla broke down, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. Within days, Adrian arranged a modest but comfortable apartment for them. It wasn't a mansion, but it was safe, warm, and filled with essentials. When Zara walked into her new room and saw a desk with fresh notebooks, pencils, and books neatly arranged, she gasped as if she had entered a palace. "Is this really for me?" she asked. "Yes," Adrian said softly, "because teachers need a place to study." She ran to the desk, hugging the books as though they were priceless jewels. Amelia jumped beside her, already planning sleepovers and study sessions. Watching them, Adrian felt something shift inside him. For years, he had built companies for profit, but now he felt a calling, something far greater than business. Weeks turned into months. Adrian enrolled Zara in a good school. At first, she struggled. She felt out of place among children who had everything. But Amelia stood by her side, defending her, encouraging her, celebrating every small success. Slowly, Zara's confidence grew. One day, Amelia proudly showed Adrian a paper Zara had brought home. At the top, in bold letters, were the words, "Excellent progress." She's amazing, Daddy, Amelia said. She teaches me too. Adrian smiled, his heart swelling with pride. But not everyone saw things the same way. At his office, some of his business partners whispered. They mocked him for wasting time on charity, saying he should focus on profits. One even laughed. You're rescuing strays now? Adrian's face hardened. She's not a stray. She's the future. And if you can't see that, maybe you don't belong in my company. For the first time, Adrian didn't care about losing partners. He had found something worth more than money: purpose. One rainy evening, Layla collapsed at work. The doctors revealed her illness was more serious than she admitted. Adrian rushed to the hospital with Zara and Amelia. Zara clung to her mother's hand, crying, "Mom, please don't leave me. I need you. Who will I teach if you're gone?" Layla smiled weakly. "You'll teach the world? My love, you're stronger than you think." Adrian felt his chest tighten. He knew he couldn't let this family fight alone. He hired the best doctors, covered all expenses, and stayed by their side. Days turned into nights at the hospital, but he never left. One night, as Zara slept beside her mother's bed, Layla looked at Adrian with tears in her eyes. "Why are you doing all this for us? You owe us nothing." Adrian's voice cracked. "Because years ago, I forgot what it meant to dream. I raised my daughter with wealth, but not always with heart." Zara reminded me of something I lost, the courage to believe in more than money. Helping you isn't charity. It's saving myself too. Layla squeezed his hand. For the first time, she truly believed him. Months later, with proper treatment, Layla slowly regained her strength. Zara continued to shine at school, often standing at the front of the class to help her classmates. Teachers praised her natural ability to explain, to encourage, to lead. One afternoon during a school event, Zara stood on stage. She looked out at the audience, her small hands gripping the microphone. "My name is Zara," she said clearly. "When I was homeless, I used to teach myself with a stick in the dirt. People laughed at me, but one man believed in me. He gave me books. He gave me hope. And now I want to be a teacher so I can give that hope to others." The entire auditorium erupted in applause. Adrian stood in the back, tears blurring his vision. Amelia cheered the loudest, clapping and shouting her best friend's name. At that moment, Adrian knew his life had come full circle. He had built empires, yes, but this was his greatest legacy. Because one day, when Zara became the teacher she dreamed of being, hundreds of children would learn from her, and the cycle of hope would continue. Years later, Zara walked into a classroom, not as a student, but as a teacher. She placed her books on the desk and looked at the rows of eager faces staring up at her. In the front row sat Amelia, smiling proudly, holding a bouquet of flowers. Behind her, Adrian and Layla sat side by side, tears streaming down their faces. Zara picked up a piece of chalk. For a moment, she remembered the stick she once held in the park, drawing letters in the dirt. She took a deep breath and wrote on the board, "Dreams begin where hope is planted." Her students clapped, and her journey as a teacher officially began. Adrian whispered to Amelia, his voice breaking, "She did it. She really did it." Amelia hugged him tightly. "Daddy, we did it together." And in that moment, Adrian realized something he would never forget. True wealth isn't measured by money, but by the lives you touch, the dreams you nurture, and the hope you give to others. The billionaire who once thought he had everything finally understood he had been poor all along. But thanks to a homeless girl named Zara, he had found riches greater than gold.